guys, welcome back to another video where today we are starting in the Ultimate Rainbow Friends RP. That's right, this is Nuke's game and we have a few people here who's actually got some of my drip on right now, which is so cool. But what am I on about? This has nothing to do with the video. Today, we're going to be looking at, well, what I have discovered with purple. There's actually a lot more to it that we didn't know, and I want to go through it with you guys today to see if you agree with what I've found. So what we're going to do is start in this game, because what we have here is, well, the origin of purple. That's right, there's so many different concepts and stuff about, and I've just seen there's a massive car here with loads of people in. I'm just going to get in at this point. Hey, check that out, we're in the car. Wait, what? I'm too fat? Oh no, he can't get us inside the building. What? Oh, okay, we'll have to leave the taxi there, but thank you anyway. But what this means is we can sprint our way into the morph area to just over this way, because what we have over here is the original version of purple, which is inside of the vents. This one here. And as you can see, his eyes move around. It's actually quite a cool little animation for such a basic morph. So just like that, we have now become, well, purple, but in a vent, which is how purple is in chapter 1 when he's not kind of trying to grab you as you run past. Now, the only thing to make this a bit more legit is if we go to here, and I just kind of work my way to a suitable place for this to look like it's actually in the game, which is a really nice touch to be able to be on this. And I've realized that there's no jump scare for this one, which is a bit of a shame, because I would have thought with this, you could have pressed the button and it would have stretched out its arms. So this should look like a familiar sight if you played Rainbow Friends Chapter 1 for the last few months. And at this point, I've got Quackers going, oh my god, purple! He thinks that this is, clearly this is purple. This is how we see purple. It doesn't really do much other than it comes out of the vents and pulls you in for the jump scare, which I will show you just very quickly right now. And as you can see, I want to compare this to Chapter 2 before we get into the kind of lore of how I think purple will look and also what kind of transition it goes through. So like this, we are in the legit game of Rainbow Friends Chapter 2. You can tell this because we've got the light bulbs over here. We've got the crouch and the box icon, which yes, you can get into, as you can see. But what we actually care for in here is still purple. Now, I just need to get past green to go down to purple. I'm hoping he doesn't grab me. That was close. So as you can hear the slapping sound of purple that is now in purple's lair, we do have Quackers next to me in the box, and Purple has kind of run round, so we should be able to see his hands if we kind of creep out to here. There he is. Check that out. So that there is obviously all you see in this chapter with purple. It's literally a set of arms that kind of just run about. Both Purple and Sage are winding purple up. Look, eventually he's gonna grab someone. I can feel it. But because of this, there's not much we really know about purple in this game. It doesn't really show much more than the first ones, other than he has super long arms with human-like hands. Obviously, compared to the first chapter jump scare, we should really check out what chapter 2's like. So, this means I'm gonna have to get eaten by purple. This is bad. But as it's been shown here, you can get around purple's jump scare by literally crawling. I don't think they've patched it yet. And from the looks of it, that's a no. You can still crawl around here and just take your time without having to worry about purple getting you. Oh no! So, this jump scare, it looks identical to the chapter 1. So that head structure has not changed from chapter 1 of what they thought purple was gonna look like. But this leads us up to the next game very, very well. Okay, so we've headed into the next game where we've got ourselves all these lookies and different versions of purples. Look at them all in the floor. Why is that creepier than in the real game? I don't know. But let's go over here and become what I believe is the first step for every single Rainbow Friend. I believe with these lookies, as you know when you get here at a later hour, you have to collect all of these on the floor, and obviously Red lets them free. Now with my previous lore with the lookies, that they kind of help Red around Oddworld, and I said that the big lookie that's usually up here is in fact probably like their father, their dad, and they all help Red look after Oddworld from all the trouble. But obviously, with us being here when we shouldn't be, well, Red knows we're here. So he sets them out to see how we respond to them, because we have the choice on that particular hour to rescue them, which if we do, he then kind of goes, yeah, great, whatever, don't care. And if you don't, then effectively he sets the fireworks off for the old man, which is obviously Trenton, right on top of Green's drop tower all the way up there. But I personally feel that what they do with Red's creations is they all start as these little cute lookies making these cute little sounds. Ah, they're so adorable. But yes, they obviously start like this, and he kind of nurtures them to look after, and they start to evolve into what they're supposed to be. Now, most of them turn out to be quite historic or dinosaur-like, which is where we get cyan, orange, and yellow at this point in time, but purple, we still don't really know what that looks like. And as you can see, we're in Purple's lair in this particular game, and there is a lot of them running around in circles of the maze, and it's great because it looks just like the real game. It's so realistic at this point. But going back to, obviously, these lookies, to get from this cute little tiny ball to what we see here in Chapter 2 and Chapter 1, which is just the arms of Purple, but also in Chapter 1, we do see the eyes, which are not too dissimilar, really, to what we've got on these lookies. I know you're going to say, but they're very similar to Red's. You're right, they are. But I do feel like they're quite similar to what we have on the final version of Purple. So with that being said, I want to show you what I think the next stage from this one is for Purple to evolve into what we think is gonna be the final version. We're moving over to the next game to show you the creature that I believe that cute little purple looky kind of grows into, because they are quite organic. I mean, that's how I look at these lookies, is they're quite organic and they're not actually robots. I know we had the animatronic video recently, and I think that's a different theory all completely. There is more I want to add to that as well, which I think you guys are gonna like, but that's for another video. But what we want to do is go through here, and as you can see just over here, we've got one called Violet. And if you have a look at this, in fact, if we even become Violet, it's a bit better. You can see where I'm heading with this. Now, I don't know if you guys agree with this, but I feel that with the looky we had a second ago as like, that's how they're created, that's how they're born, that is the beginning. Now, I feel like this is a different shade of purple. Granted, it's not the same. That indigo, if anything, is probably a bit closer to the actual color. But if we focus more at this point on the body shape of what this is and the fact it's kind of grown or starting to grow some arms, I think this could work quite well. Given what this is, obviously this is one known as Violet in this particular game, and this does have legs and arms and a body at this point, but as a way of progressing through the scale of Purple to get to what we see, which is these really long stretchy arms, the human-like hands, I think this could work quite well. So obviously it goes from this stage, and there is another version that I do think it will go to, and with some pictures we found online, I think that the last one that I'm going to show you is actually going to be how Purple looks in, if we get to see it, Chapter 3. But before we do, there are some concepts in here which I really like the look of, because one of them matched up perfectly with the jump scare that we saw from Chapter 1 and Chapter 2 earlier. So if I head down here and we go to what's known as the vial ventilation, also known as Purple, we can then go into this and check this out. So I know some of you have theorized that this Purple doesn't have any legs. It's literally just arms and a body, basically like this. Now the head shape can be, well, I don't agree this is how the head looks, but annoyingly saying that, this is how the head looks when you get jump scared by Purple in both Chapter 1 and Chapter 2. And we do have a jump scare to test, so let's just have a quick look. So with this all being said, I think this leads perfectly up to what we want to see as the final version of Purple. That's right, we've got an idea of how it looks because we've seen pictures of potential concepts as well as actually a legit source of how it's meant to look. And by that I mean, we can buy a toy of it already. Like, you can get a figurine of it. So I think this is the perfect time to head over and see how it looks. So for the final transition into the game that we want to play, I can see Quacker's just down the corridor here. So what we're going to find here is the version of purple that I believe is to be what is the real purple. So like this, as you can see, we've now become purple. This is one that you've seen and we've all kind of had the concept idea of being the real version. That's right, this one here with the really long and big human-like hands, but the eyes, they still match up to what we see in the jump scare footage, but also it works perfectly to what we were looking at with the lookies. That's right, as I'm saying, it goes through stages. It's keeping that similar shape. In the jump scare, it does have some sharp teeth, and if I can just kind of pan into here, as you can see right there, we have got the teeth and they are the same. They are all jagged, just like in the jump scare, which also proves a point that this could be the real purple, which we see in the jump scare, which is in the game. And obviously, what I'm about to show you now is the screenshot that I found online, which is where you can buy the purple figurine. And this is basically how it looks. This is purple. Now, the next question to ask at this point, is purple he? Or is purple a she? Now, the reason I ask that is if we're going through the process that I've just done and we had violet earlier, well, that would make it a she. In theory, that's what that would be, but let me know what you guys think in the comments below. So, I think this is the perfect time to head over to theory time. So, for the first theory, we've got one by this user here, and they say, what if the big looky was a success and the little lookies are failed experiments and Red didn't scrap the lookies? Now, interesting you say that the big looky is the successful one. I mean, I don't actually have him to hand at this point in time, but he's definitely in this game. But you're saying that that's the successful one. The one that we see up here, who's guarding the entrance to the cave for reasons we still don't know why. But all the little ones you're saying are the kind of failed experiments? I mean, I like your idea, but I feel like the little ones are yet to grow into different creatures. That's what I think. Like we discussed in this video, I think it's like a starting point for all of Red's creations. I like your theory. For the next theory, we've got one by this user here, and they say Pink might be forgotten because of how she looks. She has no arms. And then the user below actually has a very valid point and says, so is this the same for Cyan? Cyan forgotten too? She doesn't have her own place. Blue has the castle and Ferris wheel. Green has the lift up bouncy ride and pharmacy. Yellow has the nest on his icy mountain, and purple has a lair, whereas orange has the cavern. These are both very, very valid points because, yeah, you're right. There is actually Blue's Ferris wheel. Up here, you've got the nest for yellow. We have the pharmacy place. You have this building that's not really used for anything, although we do suspect that this could be to do with Pink. Pretty much everyone else, apart from Cyan and Pink, has something in Oddworld. So the next theory is by this user here, and they say, so my theory is that Pink became Cyan due to not fitting certain guidelines, and my only evidence to back this up is both Pink and Cyan are armless. I want to say it's similar to how Yellow got redesigned, but in this case, Pink changes colors with its redesign. And then he just put, yes, I am back, by the way. Now, this is actually pretty cool. We've got Pink here, who keeps trying to eat me with his jump scare. So as you can see right now, we have Pink over here, and we've got Cyan. So you're saying that it looks like it could be a redesigned. I mean, you're right. They are both armless. Although, I feel like Cyan is clearly much bigger than Pink. So as a redesign goes, the actual body is similar. They've got two fairly long legs. They've got very narrow, skinny bodies. The size of the mouths are very similar, and the eye... Okay, the eyes are different, and obviously, if we go around the back, this one, being Cyan, has got a huge tail, whereas Pink has got none. Now, I can see, actually, most of the similarities of these, so actually, I really like that theory. Okay, guys, that's where I'm going to end the video today. If you like, remember to hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't done so already, because it's super appreciated, and we will catch you in the next video. Remember to boot the snoop. Bye!